I'm Adrian Carbajal. Here are your headlines from Central Texas. Right now, the Gatesville Messenger is working to recover local history dating back to the 1930s, after the newspaper's office, along with several nearby buildings, were destroyed in a fire back in March. 6 News anchor Adriana Alexander has more on how their next goal is to piece together their town's history.
The people in this community, they need a newspaper. They want a newspaper.
The Gatesville Messenger has documented the people, events, and milestones that have shaped the community since it was founded in 1887. And their archives dated back to 1936.
Those things you can't replace.
But a destructive fire that burnt down their building, along with several other historical structures in March, changed everything.
Everyone in the community was concerned, is this going to continue on?
I sat there on the curb of the courthouse and I started crying because the archives meant so much to me, since I write a lot of history articles.
All of the staff members had no office to work in.
There was about a month where we were in limbo, not really knowing what was going on. I was working from my home out in Waco.
But their commitment to telling local stories never wavered.
I went to the Gatesville Public Library. They have study rooms with computers. That was my little cubbyhole office for several months.
And this past Saturday, the newspaper announced that their new headquarters had been moved to the Gatesville Primary School. Their next mission is to preserve history by building back up their archives.
Just invite anybody that has newspapers to bring them to us, and we will be very appreciative of that.
Their hope is to obtain every edition the newspaper has ever published and keep history alive for future generations.
I know we relied heavily on those historical documents that we lost for our history stories, and we had a lot of good information in those, so hopefully we can recover those.
In other news, Hill County officials are taking precautionary steps against a growing threat to Texas livestock and animals. County leaders declared a local disaster earlier yesterday in response to the spread of the New World screwworm, a parasitic pest that can cause severe injury or death to animals. But officials say this move is all about prevention before it's too late. Hill County is now under a local disaster declaration after officials work to stay ahead of the threat posed by the New World screwworm. County Emergency Management Coordinator Chris Jackson says the declaration isn't a response to a local outbreak, it's about preparation.
The moment we declare a disaster, all of a sudden people open their eyes a little bit more and they take it a little bit more serious. So due to the fact that just over the weekend there's been additional cases after the rain kind of subsided is what we're looking at. Still a growing threat to Texas as a whole, in my opinion. And so it's just one of those things to help prepare the community should something come this way.
The declaration, approved by Hill County commissioners, comes after more than a dozen confirmed cases of the parasite were found in Texas counties. Jackson says if the pest were to reach Hill County, local officials would rely heavily on state and federal partners for expertise and response efforts.
We're going to rely heavily on, the Texas Animal Health Commission, Texas Division of Emergency Management, as well as the USDA and other, Texas A&M AgriLife, other state level entities. On our end, it's just a formality of making it also any of our resources available to them. We've already crossed that red tape and we're ready if it comes this way.
Officials say Hill County's large livestock population and abundant wildlife make early awareness especially important. For now, county leaders stress there are no confirmed or suspected cases of the New World screwworm in Hill County.
But with that, everyone needs to be proactive on their part of checking their animals, checking their livestock, doing any preventative measures that their veterinarian recommends that they do for their animals or livestock to prevent it.
And those are your headlines from Central Texas.